Welcome to Kaivala Yoga. Of all of the episodes that I've had to record thus far, this is the one that's the scariest for me. And the reason is because in life, it's really hard to become vulnerable with people in our society, the way that we have it structured. And we'd like to hide from a lot of people because when we become vulnerable and we share with people what we're thinking and how we feel, it moves us into this place of vulnerability. And many people in our past put us down and they laugh at us for doing such a thing. So we think that it's wrong. A lot of us do. And some of us are really brave and some of us are really bold. So today, I am joined with Bree, and I'm joined with Steve. And what we're doing is we're exploring the concept of laughter. Now, it's pretty easy in life to tell somebody one thing and have completely different intentions and lie through your words of what you're speaking. It's fairly easy to do that. Secondarily, it's not so easy to have an emotion come on in our life and to be able to control our face to hide that emotion that we're feeling in the moment. But thirdly, it is most difficult to hide how you feel about a situation when you share your laughter with people. So, as we're exploring this space today, I would like to encourage everyone, the viewers at home and my guests today, to acknowledge that this is really vulnerable and we may feel insecure, and I promise everyone, people will laugh at us, and I also promise everyone that people will laugh at us. Now, there are three main categories of laughter, and the three main categories are he, ha, and ho. Do y'all want to talk about them? Do you remember the ha?
The ha is ha 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 ha, which can be sincere, or it can be, if it's slow, it can be very fake. The he like that kind of. That is seductive. So when girls giggle, that's when they have the boys melt in their hands. And then there's the ho, 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 ho. And that's like the Santa Claus laugh. And that's the genuine, happy laugh that all the little kids know that Santa Claus is happy when he rubs his belly and he does his ho, ho, ho laugh.
Everyone wants the ho. It's the laugh. If you've got a ho in the room, and it's a hilarious play on words, I acknowledge that. Everyone feels really secure about what's going on with their life. Then, let's see. What's the hardest part about sharing your laugh, Steve?
Being genuine,
Yeah.
being natural, I think.
That's awesome. Yeah, because so often we just want to be superficial with everyone. And when somebody touches our heart, it's pretty surprising. What are the 6 emotions? Do you remember?
So we have anger,
Mm-hmm.
we have sadness, we have happiness and fear and disgust and surprise. by Aikman,
Paul
Eric-
Ekman.
Paul Aikman.
Yeah.
He discovered the 6 emotions.
Yeah. Happy's first?
Sure. I said sadness, but happy is first.
Okay. Well, let's give it a whirl. You ready?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
Does it help to do anything with your arms?
I don't know.
It's power pose. You feel confident.
In what situations in life do you feel happy?
Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
birthdays,
Mhm.
Birthdays. Yeah.
when a baby's born, yoga class,
Mm-hmm.
connection with people, when you're doing something you love,
Gosh.
when you're in love, when you're seeing other people happy. It's contagious.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like a ha. And the ha is a relaxed ha. And the more relaxed the ha, it's a suddenness and a relaxed at the same time. Ha 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 ha. And if you get a constriction in the ribs or in the belly, or the shoulders come forward, then the ha becomes more brief and less secure.
So are you saying laughter comes from different parts of the body?
Absolutely. Where do you feel the happiness as opposed to the fear?
Well, probably the typical belly laugh, when you just
Yeah.
laughing from your belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make your abs sore.
Yeah, you laugh so hard you hurt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The he, as you were saying, is unbelievably seductive. And for any women that are trying to train their husbands at home, all you gotta do is start giggling at the things that he does.
Mm-hmm.
And if you giggle at the things that he's most insecure about doing, you will have him complete joystick remote control type control. You'd be like, honey, raise your arm. And he'll be like, sweet, raise the other one. Yep. Do the
Makes him feel
dishes, sweep the
powerful.
floor. Absolutely. Well, the giggle, it tells the man, and I'm using just, I understand that there's a huge diversity in sexes as well. Like some people are masculine in one way, but feminine in another. But this is just a general statement to be able to get it out there. When women use the giggle with men to show that they feel comfortable and that the man is providing a security to the women. And if a man can feel that he is providing security for a woman, that whole like confidence thing that's written all around and the testosterone part of our brain, it completely adds to productivity.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, with me doing that around men, they don't like that because they feel that I should feel secure with everything that I'm doing in my own life rather than being insecure and feeling comfortable with their safety in my life. They want me to be independent. They don't want me to be giggling around them. As if you have a man that's around a woman that is given the giggle where the man doesn't really want that woman to feel secure around him. Totally awkward situation for all parties. Then we've got, so ha short, ha long, and depending on the degree of relaxation will determine, it seems that it determines if it is more of a happiness response compared to a fearful response. And the he, also a happiness response as opposed to a fearful. If you're going to extreme fear, you'll hear a short giggle. And that's like somebody's underneath they're underneath a floor where the Nazis are taking over. It's the little peep that comes out of the mouth that you don't want to have come out of your mouth in that
Total fear.
total dire situation. But the ho goes 2 angles. On one angle of the ho, it is, on one angle of the ho, we have complete, we're saying that we're completely celebratory. We're elated at the situation that is going on at the time. and everything is going to be okay. That's what the hoe does. It says to everybody in the circle, everything is going to be okay. To develop the laughter of a hoe takes tons of kindness. In order to bring to light the kindness, you have to think about who Santa Claus was as a young adult. Okay, so odds are really good that there was a time in Santa Claus's life when he realized that giving gifts was something that was really profound. To be able to listen to a person, to help them feel relaxed in what they're doing in their life. And Santa Claus probably also realized that with vulnerability, the more drama that was in the situation, the more tragedy that was in the situation, the more the person would need to feel nurtured. And the warmest thing that he could give to that person is a laugh that says, everything is going to be okay. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, try it. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. And okay, so rather than up, bring the chin down into the heart and feel a little bit more of the heart. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, nice and easy. Like you're blowing out a little puff of smoke. Oh, 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 oh. And you're patting somebody on the back. Oh, 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 oh.
Very comforting.
Absolutely. And you can see the child that was faced with abuse of his parents, or living underneath a cardboard box, or didn't have any food to eat. Faced with that type of tragedy, the best thing that he could give to that child was that laugh of everything is going to be okay. And slowly, it started off with just that gentle, oh, 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 there. And it ended up being, he ended up turning into the great American guru. A lot of people like to say certain yoga teachers are the great American guru. And I think it, as far as historically, it's not so much Paramahansa Yogananda, who wrote Autobiography of a Yogi. It's not so much Bikram, who is the McGuru. I really think it's Santa Claus. I think Santa Claus is probably the motif of guru in America, that we all want to be visited by Santa Claus at our jobs, with our relationships, with our children, with our parents. It would be wonderful to have somebody come up to us, let us sit on their lap, pat us on the back, and laugh and tell us everything is going to be okay.
Not everybody knows yogis, but everyone knows Santa Claus.
Everyone knows Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, to make, there's differences between humor and comedy. Humor is an emotion that comes on fast, strong, and is short-lived. So a humor can be, a classic example is, and if you haven't seen a Kleenex commercial recently or a Hallmark commercial that's totally heartwarming, you can YouTube them at home or whatever. But those emotions, they come on very strong, very quick, and are short-lived. They pass by very quickly. With humors, there are different types of humors, and some of them are comedy. And what comedy is, always, is tragedy from another perspective. Can you think of a joke? And if there are any viewers at home that can do this, this would be so awesome. If you can think of a joke that doesn't involve tragedy from a different perspective, yeah, let me know.
Nope. I'm
'Cause-
thinking Saturday Night Live, and that's all tragedy. Even why did the chicken cross the road?
Yep.
I don't really know what the end of that is. It's always
To get to the other
To
side.
get to the other
side.
Yeah. And what's
guess-
Without
funny
getting
is,
run over.
right.
It-
That's a tragedy.
well, and the obviousness. That's what it is, but that kind of a joke, what we can do is use what's called the threes formula to be able to assess it. And what the threes formula is, well, in comedy and in humor, and what sticks to the human brain is whenever we hear three things. If we hear three things, we're going to be really happy of it. One has a power of 1, 2 has the power of 10, but 3 has the power of 100. And with the threes formula, what it ends up doing is it breaks down the elements of what you're doing into palatable concepts. The T stands for target. And if you're presenting something with a group of people, what target does the group of people feel comfortable with? If you're talking with the NRA, making jokes about terrorists is probably going to be something that they're going to like. If you're with the NRA, making jokes about the folks from Utah moving to Oregon to steal or to reset all of the gun laws will probably go really well with the NRA because that's something that's on their radar at the time. And how we choose our target has to be determined by our audience. And if you want to get to a 10, you got to fit your audience really, really well. As opposed to get to the other side, it doesn't fit anything. I mean, we don't care about a chicken. We don't care about why the chicken is crossing the road. And we don't really, after the chicken ends up crossing the road to the other side, it's completely
cares?
vacuous. Like, why bother? Why?
That's
where?
a ha ha laugh.
Yeah. Like you're stupid, right? Yeah. So the H is hostility. And the more, depending on the audience, the more hostile that you can be with if you nail the hostility that the audience feels comfortable with, you're gonna have a killer joke. If you use hostility that the audience does not feel comfortable with, so if you're talking to a group of, let's see, how could I pull off hostility where the joke would just totally fall flat on its face? If you're talking with a group of women that are, well, you probably wouldn't want to bring up a male chauvinist being the shining star of whatever your joke was. If you put the male chauvinist up on a pedestal and you say he's such a great guy, they would probably be shaking their heads at you, and you'd have really quiet, dead silence.
But if the male chauvinist is the target,
You got it.
You got it. Yeah. It's like with comedians in different cities, depending on the vibe, no show is going to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because it's different people, different community,
Yep.
different atmosphere.
Yep. And all the comedian really needs to do is read the paper before he shows up to his act. Because he can fit, if he uses the threes formula, he can fit each of these little elements into the specific genre.
Right.
The R is realistic. And by realistic, I'm not saying truth. Truth is a totally different concept. Truth is how the universe works and how it is. If you show truth to most people, they're going to get really upset with you because most people don't take time to look at what's going on around them. They don't take time to understand the chemistry of psychology or the chemistry of anthropology, in that matter. But what we're talking about with realistic is that you want to bring forth an idea that seems real to the audience.
Related. They can relate to it.
Yeah. And that's why I put yoga mats up today. I mean, we're not going to use these mats today, but in order to associate the home viewers with yoga, the way that it's already trained in your head to bring the yoga mats here, gives an element of realism to people that are watching this.
Absolutely.
Even though, yeah, we're basically not wearing yoga clothes right now. It's okay, but yeah, we could do yoga if we wanted to in these clothes, but stereotypically speaking, we're not wearing yoga
I've
clothes.
got my yoga pants on.
Oh, yeah. The R, exaggeration, is the next one. And depending on the audience, you have to exaggerate in different ways. If you're talking with a 3-year-old, how much do you exaggerate?
A lot. Tell stories.
Yeah. So if you're telling a 3-year-old about a fish that you caught, how big would you say the? Yeah, totally. The arms go way out, and sometimes the belly button will show.
Yeah.
With a 3-year-old, and that they will be on the edge of their seats with that story. But if you say, as you said before, the fish is going to be this big to a 3-year-old, they're going to be like,
How big? Yeah.
yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So what? This isn't a very interesting story.
Right.
You forgot to exaggerate.
Yeah. Or when you just anything talking, it was so awesome. Just you have to exaggerate your words to get them to
Your
pay attention,
expression,
in
yeah.
your expression, your body language.
Or talking about an elephant. If you wanted to tell a story where you were on an African savanna and you were in your tent and an elephant showed up, you would talk about the sounds of the elephant to an adult, and I heard the elephant say, as opposed to a kid. If you would talk about an elephant, you would put the arm in front of the nose and then and the kid would totally associate better with that second one, the second exaggeration, because it's more real to their mind. The next one is emotion. And there are certain emotions that we have in life that are more subtle. And we have other emotions that are more exaggerated. And certain people are comfortable with some emotions, and other people are comfortable with other emotions. There is some music that is created that is just sad and depressing, and that's all it is. And people love it. They eat it up. There are shows that people watch that are extremely violent and extremely bloody and involve tons of ruthlessness. And if it fits the audience, it will sell really, really nicely. So whenever we're creating work, we got to figure out what kind of emotions do our viewers want to have. And what were the 6 again? We got happiness,
Anger, sadness, disgust, fear, surprise.
Yeah. And with all of those, with each of those, we just have to consider when we're creating something, how much of those elements do we want to have in our series? And then the last one, the last S in the 3's formula is surprise. Yeah. If it doesn't have a wow factor, if it doesn't have a bam moment, if it doesn't have that crescendo,
Climax.
you gotta forget about it.
There's no story or movie or any show that doesn't have a climax. Otherwise, it's like, why did I watch that? What was the point?
Yeah. Amazing.
That's where everybody in a surprise birthday hide behind the couch and then
Right.
come out. Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. And we don't have a boring birthday.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Well, it would involve, let's see, everybody doing what they normally do, and that
Right.
would be your boring birthday.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. The emotions are done, the 3's formula is done, the different types of laughs are done, and humor, comedy, that's all done. And we've even experienced our different laughs. With that said, thank you so much for joining us today. You all are great and wonderful. Have an amazing time, and thanks to our guest, Steve and Bree. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.